Great. Welcome to TADHack winners. So we're going to run through all the winners. So the judges have been judging through the night and through today after spending a lot of time and support. So we're all in a sleep-deprived state. So expect some garbled words and hopefully nobody falling asleep during the presentation. But what I'd like to do is, Vivek, if you would present the results for Radisys first, and then we'll, because they've got to go off to a customer meeting, so we'll just do Radisys up front, and then I'll move through the rest of the presentation, okay?
Sure, thank you, Alan. I can bring my screen up. Give me a sec here. I just want to make sure that everyone is able to see this.
There you go, I can see it.
Okay, sounds good. So I'll get started here. First of all, I want to, thank everyone for participating and obviously also for using Radisys platform. This is obviously, we have been involved with this event for a while now, working with Alan, and number of contributors, teams, participants have been using our platform. So this is very encouraging. This actually brings us a lot of joy to see participants from all over the world. We have also seen participants actually who have been there in the previous TADHack events, and they are coming again and using our platform. So we really think that we must be doing something right. We really believe, we hope that they like the platform, they enjoy working on it, they enjoy building these hacks, and and in course of things and events like these, through events like these, we get their feedback, we learn from them, we get their perspective. That definitely helps us make this better, obviously for our customers, partners, and all the consequent follow-up events as well. So really, actually happy to, have everyone here, especially the participants who have been here before as well. What we are going to do, and this should not take long. I have literally just like 4 slides. We'll introduce the winners here. In fact, they are listed right here. I have the 3 winners listed here. What I'll do is I'll briefly speak about how we perceived their hacks. What is our view? What is our thought? Some criteria that we used while judging those and allocating. So this was definitely not an easy process, at least for us. There were all these cool ideas and definitely very interesting, fascinating demos. And then, it's always difficult to make selection between all these. So, and then we really struggled. So we had to select 3, key winners. We also have a couple of honorable mentions at the end that I would really like to, very briefly talk about, but everyone has done such a wonderful job. We are absolutely so happy, delighted to have as many folks out there using our platform. I'll get started in interest of time and for everyone else here as well. A very quick note, on the way we looked at it. We obviously started with the innovation or the innovative thought behind an idea, how much it contributed to the society in general, how did it help solve a problem. So every idea was judged primarily based on that. How did it use, let's say, Radisys as a platform? What capabilities did it use, or what capabilities it could have further used? That was another criteria. And then finally, how did the presenters bring it across? What was the value proposition? How was the overall demo delivered? So these were some of the factors that we had in mind while we were evaluating these. And basis these is how we have tried to, I would simply say, pick some of the project and talk about those. It's just not really it's really hard to speak in terms of one winner or two winners out of so many brilliant ideas. Let me quickly speak about, and many of the folks here would have, seen some of these or maybe aware of these. I'll quickly speak about the projects or the hacks that we really think delivered a lot of value here. So the first winner that in fact we have is emergency.kad. It's an IoT-based monitoring solution that has the ability to take certain preemptive actions also. So talk about health, talk about environment. Particularly in this demo, we saw smoke being detected using an IoT sensor device, and consequently a call being triggered from our platform. And that's where the Radisys platform was used. And this is a very interesting use case. We believe that it has use cases not just in specific businesses, enterprise, but in smart cities and wider environments in general. So it really used a number of capabilities, right from the hardware sensors all the way to programmable APIs using the underlying communication infrastructure, and absolutely wonderfully delivered, explaining all the components that went into the solution. So really happy about this. Thank you for participating, emergency.cat team. I will continue to, move on to the other couple of ideas. The second winner here is the team Chanjo. Again, really, picking up from on an idea that serves the societal need, particularly in geographies like Africa, where this idea has been focused on, where the healthcare system faces a number of challenges, limitations. Automating the process of immunization, automating the process of medication, particularly for small kids, for small children. The objective here seemed to be building a portal that could automate the process for immunization, for various kind of vaccination for small children, can send out, again, reminders, calls to the parents when the immunization or a vaccination date arrives, and really helps automate this whole process. So definitely serves society at large, definitely solves a problem here, definitely uses the platform technology in a very nice way. So that's the winner two here that we have. The third one is the Intendable. Again, a great idea, a wonderful technology at the core as it seems, and definitely bringing in a lot of components into the solution. So essentially, it seems that the idea is, or the application, the solution is for people who may have certain audio processing disability or inability, where their mind cannot process audio that they hear or speech that they hear just in exactly the same way as typically you would expect humans to do. And to get past this limitation, they have been able to perform a number of activities on that audio. They have been able to enrich that audio, increase space, reduce space, mute, unmute, do a lot of those things with the audio, where they can enrich the audio and it becomes really not only audible, but obviously understandable to the person who's hearing. Again, they had some very interesting points of I think they mentioned about 300,000 babies every year facing or having this deficiency. So looks like this solution can cater to or help a lot of people at the moment itself. Great delivery. They had an app-based demo to the judges present there. It was delivered with great statistics, details on the solution components via the demo. So that would be the winner number 3 from our side. So first of all, I wanted to congratulate all 3 winners here. That said, like I said earlier, I do want to mention a couple of other teams. It just has been so difficult, selecting few teams out of so many different teams, and that did such commendable work. The first one is tutor.ai, that again had a fascinating idea of converting lectures, long form speeches into PDF documents and books, helps increasing the coverage of education or education sector without necessarily having teachers and professors so on available. I think it's a really good idea. It's something that can be widely implemented, widely used. Another mention that we would want to make here is the sleep apnea treatment adherence solution. Sleep apnea is, as it seems, a fairly common problem. Per the slide deck from the participating team, apparently 10 to 20% people, up to 10 to 20% people may suffer from something like this, right? And the issue is, while there are solutions out there, people have difficulty in adhering to those, or adhering to those treatments in long term. And I think the way they have approached this problem is by tracking, taking input from, or collecting data from daily observations, analyzing that, and being able to intelligently trigger reminders to patient. So really very helpful again in the healthcare sector, really fixing a gap, a problem out there. So while the treatments exist, it really focuses on how they can make patients adhere to these. Both of these, again, great ideas. Really thankful to all these teams for participating, using our platform. And that's all I really wanted to talk about in terms of winners and in terms of some of the mentions that we wanted to make here.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Vivek. Okay, so if you could unshare your screen, I'll share mine now, and you and Abby can get off to your customer meeting. And Abby, get some sleep.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks, Vivek. Thank you.
You're welcome. Take care.
Thank you, guys. Bye.
Okay, so I'm sharing. Let me go to presentation mode. So Dave, I saw you just joined. Because the Radisys guys had to get off to a customer meeting, they just quickly stepped in and announced their winners. But we're going back to the slides, and then we'll have the usual flow through the material. So we're going to run through the winners. We ran over this weekend on the 21st and 22nd of October in many, many locations. We had, I think, as a percentage, our biggest contingent of remote presenters from all around the world. I mean, North America, around South America, around Asia, and many locations in Africa. Not only Nairobi, Kaduna, locations we were running in person, but we had quite a few remote as well. And you can see here the winners in Tenable from Sri Lanka. You can see some of the people from Colombia. And for some reason in Sri Lanka, they wanted to talk to a Father Christmas-like person. I'm not sure why they wanted to do that. But anyway, let's get down to what makes TADHack different. Diversity, you can see in that previous slide. Openness, you don't have to be a hacker. You can take part in a team if you're more sort of product or marketing biased. It really is open to all. And the biggest thing is you, it's the people. Now, Naveen, who led the team that won with Tenable, he's taken part in TADHack 3 times. So he took part back when he was like 16 or so in one of the TADHack teams, when he was a first-year undergraduate, and now this year as a third year. And of course, they won overall at TADHack Sri Lanka, and as has just been announced, they won one of the global prizes as well. So well done. And there's a couple of links there. All the videos, and this video as well, is going to be up on the TADHack YouTube channel. And we, of course, have the blog where we write about all the cool stuff. So the 4 sponsors that made TADHack Global possible: Radisys, who you've heard from, Strolid, Jambonz, and Stacuity. And there's so many more people involved than just the sponsors. We have, for example, Telesign. They were running TADHack Belgrade. I'll run through some of their winners. IdeaMart and Senid Mobile make TADHack Sri Lanka possible. Tomorrow, I'm going to be presenting to the telco community at Network X. And then earlier this year, we had a TADHack Open. That was before Enterprise Connect. And we'll be doing the same thing in March of next year as well. And there are many more partners. Just want to give a big shout out to Yap. They run TADHack Colombia and have done an amazing job in improving the quality of the videos. It really was a pleasure to listen to them. And Africa's Talking, did an amazing job engaging their community across Africa, and some high quality hacks came out of there. By the numbers, we had about 550 hackers involved around the world over the weekend. We had about 1,200 registrations, but you've got to bear in mind, for example, with Sri Lanka, they had 350 registrations, but they down select to about 40 or 50 people for the teams that are the finalists. So we had 43 hacks. You can see up on the YouTube channel, but they're the finalists. There's a lot of other hacks that you don't see before them. And people were hacking across about 15 countries. So again, it was great to see such a diversity of people involved. So with that, I will stop sharing and hand over to Tim to run through his winners.
Many thanks, Alan. Please bear with me just a second.
No problem.
Brilliant. How's that looking? Can you see my screen okay?
Yeah, it's clear.
Good stuff. Well, firstly, just to echo some of the thoughts from yourself, Alan, and also from Vivek earlier. I mean, just a thank you to everyone that participated. You know, we were really kind of wowed by the levels of engagement overall. I mean, what a great community. What a great kind of ecosystem. Well done to you, Alan, for bringing it all together. Thank you to the 10 teams that hacked with Stacuity. It was really exciting to see people, building, different solutions in every part of the world. And again, as Vivek said, it made our job in terms of trying to judge, those, although that's our responsibility. It's quite difficult. So, you made it quite difficult for us to pick winners, but we had to do that. So that's what we have done. In terms of our thought process, Mike and I are on the call, but we also involved our wider team, in the whole discussion, because they were involved in providing support over the weekend as well. We have three things in mind as criteria. So the first and probably the most important for us actually was looking for people who were really using the distinct and differentiating capabilities of our software-defined network. Obviously, we provide data connectivity, but we do much more than that. And we looked for hacks that really started to exploit some of the capabilities which we think of as unique. So that was criteria number one. The second criteria was looking for solutions which are doing some good in the world. And we looked to support teams that were looking to solve important problems. And the third one was trying to, and obviously this is a bit difficult to judge in such a short space of time, but we tried to form a bit of a view of actually the viability and the practicality of some of the solutions. If they, if they could be developed to the next stage, could they actually succeed on a big scale? And so we tried to form a view, based on that. So those were our three criteria. And drum roll, our winner, based on really each of those criteria was Nacho Gomia with his sleep apnea treatment, or actually the adherence to sleep apnea treatment. That was the purpose of his hack. That was the problem he was trying to solve. And again, Vivek kind of mentioned him. I won't try and describe every element of the solution, but solving an important problem. People that suffer with sleep apnea, it has a wide range of negative health impacts, physical and mental. And after a year, I think 50% of people who are prescribed treatment aren't able to adhere to it because it's has an impact on your lifestyle. So there's a real issue there. And Nacho was able to knit together a solution, including Stacuity, that would monitor people's behaviour in sleep time and then prompt them with the appropriate remedial actions if they weren't following their treatment, or rewards if they were. So very clever. The reason it rose to the top for us, and we've prioritised it as our overall winner. was really that Nacho was really clear in the way he was using some of the distinct capabilities of our network. So as a health solution, it's really important that that connection to the individual SIM is private. And he emphasized that he was using that virtual private network capability in our solution. He also highlighted a capability which several of the other finalists from our side also used, which is the key value store, which is a way in our network of retaining information intelligently at the network level that's derived from SIMs and passing that through to applications for analysis. So he leveraged two capabilities in our solution, which we think are quite unique. He is aiming to solve a really important problem. The presentation was fantastic, and it felt like a market-ready solution when we viewed it. So that's why, Nacho, you are our winner. Congratulations. Second place for us was a team, and that was the team of Stephen Goodwin and Lily Maida with their solution, Light Sign. So again, the reason we loved what they have done was that it was linking directly back into unique capabilities. Actually, the two same capabilities that Nacho also leveraged, private connections to each individual SIM. So their solution involved being able to send to an individual piece of digital signage the message that would be appearing on that digital billboard, but do that in a private and secure way, which means that there's no risk of anyone tampering with that message, either mischievously or maliciously. And I'm sure we've all heard many stories of less secure systems that have been hacked and inappropriate messages have been presented out to people. Well, Stephen and Lily solved that problem with Stacuity, so a complete secure connection through to each individual piece of digital signage, a really nice kind of closed loop in terms of reporting. So being totally clear on how many messages of different types have been delivered to each billboard. So again, felt kind of commercially astute. For us, it was pushing our buttons in terms of using the unique capabilities of our network, and also as a team, they also were really kind of a pleasure to interact with and gave us lots of good feedback about our service. What's good already, what could be improved for the future, which we really value. So yes, thank you, Stephen and Lily. You're second place for us. And then third place, we actually have joint third place winners. We couldn't choose between them. The first of those is the team of Jared and David from the US that built a really kind of interesting digital art solution, from their base in Orlando. And although, again, I won't try and describe it in detail, but it involved voice to text translation from a phone into via the Stacuity service, a cloud AI image generating solution, which translated people's response to a random question into an image library. The idea being that it's a digital art project where you can place these kind of points of interaction at any place in the Orlando area or anywhere, gather all these interesting perspectives from the individual subjects, and then you end up with this kind of really kind of mad visual representation of their internal kind of brains as a visual art project. I've done a really bad way of trying to explain what it actually is, but we were really excited about it. I think the reason it was third for us, not first or second, was purely just it didn't use the Stacuity differentiating capabilities in quite the same way, but we were really excited about the idea and the potential of the project. So we gave it a third place instead. And then the final team for us that we'd also like to congratulate for being third are the team Properseed from Colombia, where their agritech monitoring solution we just thought was really neat and clever and well designed. We thought the team, the energy was fantastic, and for the same reason, as the previous one, we just we were really impressed just by the potential for this to develop over time. particularly in the Latin American market, where we know the proposition is so relevant. So I think that's probably it from us, unless, Mike, you happen to have any other quick comments to round off. If not, I'll hand back.
I was going to make the point you made before, Tim. It was also great to get feedback in the other direction. It's great the teams enjoyed our tech, but we improve our tech based on our customers, and our, the hackers here were perfectly in our sweet spot there. So thanks for taking the effort to tell us what we've got right and give us some really great ideas, which we'll try and incorporate. Watch this space.
Excellent.
Brilliant.
That's great. Thanks so much. I mean,
Thanks,
that is one
Alan.
of the unique features with TADHack is, the hackers are always happy to give their feedback.
Brilliant.
Okay,
I'll
so
hand the screen back to you, Alan.
Yep, please. Thank you. There you go. Share screen. Oh, there you go. Great. Okay. So now we know the Stacuity winners. Yay. So we already have heard from Radisys. So I'm going to skip through that. And we're now moving on to Jambonz. So Dave, let me know when you want me to press the clicker.
Let's see. Well, let me, before you press assuming the next slide is going to talk about a team, maybe I'll just have a brief comment first, which is to say, really enjoyed being a part of it. It's so great to work, as everybody said, with young people from around the world. And in this case, in this particular time, because I've participated in the past, all of the winners, and actually all the people that worked with Jambonz were from outside the US. So I thought that was great. It was really exciting to work with young people. Really excited that there was so much participation from Africa, and just seeing so many great ideas, even when they're in a formulative stage, as they sometimes are. You see a lot of potential from these people down the road. So it's kind of exciting to be a part of that. Jambones is an open source CPaaS, and you can run it on your own stuff. But in this case, most people just created accounts, went and created trial accounts on our hosted system, jambonz.cloud, which anybody can do. And then they hacked away, and it turned out they didn't need much support. I was sitting around this weekend twiddling my thumbs because they got their stuff working without me, which I guess is a good sign, but it felt a little bit like I was on the sidelines, which I'm not used to. But it had some really good contributions. It was tough to pick. In the end, I picked 3, one winner and 2 that tied for second. So with that, you can click away, Alan.
There you go.
Yeah, so interactive smart home from Vincent Wong was, I thought, a really polished solution from an engineering standpoint. It was easy to see how this thing could be, brought into production. He had done a lot of nice work. It was kind of a voice-enabled IoT home, interactive home situation, and voice makes a great interface for things like a smart home. And I really thought that he connected that all very well, and it was just very polished from an engineering standpoint, I thought. So kind of a standout winner for me in terms of how far he took things.
Yep. Next click.
And then I had 2 that were tough to decide between. They were both great. Let's see, I'm still seeing Vincent's screen.
Yep. I was waiting for a click. That was it.
Oh, yeah, sorry, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead and click.
There you go.
Yep. So yeah, these guys were, boy, it was hard not to be impressed with this solution, just the ambition of it. I thought, wow, this is really fantastic. So these guys were building this solution, which involved a lot of technology from a lot of the partners to solve a really interesting and clearly big problem to which their solution is a huge value add. Yeah. And at the end of it, they were using Jambonz to outdial and alert and report findings that the drone and the video AI had put together. So again, just really impressed as much as anything for the fact that the solution seemed like really well thought out for the needs of the community they were addressing. Yeah. And I was happy for Jambonz to be a part of that. And you can click once more. And then also, these folks put together an AI-powered call center solution. This is kind of an area where it's been a sweet spot for Jambonz. A lot of the big call center companies are using Jambonz as a voice gateway. So it was great to see these young guys putting stuff together as well in this space. And I thought they did really well, made a nice presentation as well. So I thought they were deserving of being part of the winner as well.
Yeah, and they're a great example that they are taking this to market. So this is a hack They were actually involved in TADHack Open in March, and they won with the Radisys prize at TADHack Open. And it's great to see them getting a little bit more funding to help them in building the company. So this is really a perfect example of what TADHack's about, and helping innovators get out there, give them some confidence, and give them the cash they need to make it real.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Well done.
Yeah, so that's it. So we really enjoyed being a part of it and seeing these young folks do their thing.
Exactly. No, it really is fun. Okay, so moving on to Thomas. Let me know when you want me to press for the next slide.
Okay, great. So before we do, I want to thank all the participants at TADHack for their work over the weekend. And just to emphasize what we heard from Dave, it is wonderful to see the participation globally. It's wonderful to see the excitement and the enthusiasm for this. And I really want to thank all the other sponsors for making this happen, and of course Alan for being our merry leader. So what we were doing here at Strolid was supporting the vCon standard. So if you haven't heard of it, the vCon standard is an upcoming IETF standard for conversations. It's perhaps a PDF for conversations, or it could also be thought of as the next generation AI CDR. So every single vCon contains the contents of a conversation and designed to be given to an automation. So can we get the next one going here? So the challenge was that we put together what will become, and hopefully in the next week or so, the first data set for vCons. We derived it out of one full day's worth of conversations in our contact center, then redacted, and we gave that data to the team saying, hey, tell us what you can see from this. And we gave them 3 different directions. First, search and filter through the conversations, trying to understand specific comments, complaints, things that people are saying through the conversation. Secondly, looking at some automated responses. Is there a way for us to automate responses from the conversations itself? And then finally, one of the promises of vCons is, because it contains the entirety of the actual conversation, doing some marketing segmentation work on your customers. Many small companies don't really know who their customers are, because it's very difficult to actually go back behind the scenes and do it. vCons give you an ability to, using the conversations, do marketing segmentations of your customers. So the winner of our hackathon was Matt Williams. Thank you so much. So Matt Williams took our real-world vCon data set as his start, and he used a Jupyter notebook, which for us was perfect. This is exactly the people we're looking for to make our stuff run. If you're in the AI world, ML world, the data pipeline world, Jupyter notebooks are just where you start and live. So this really helps to really highlight the ways in which our work starts to be consumed by people who aren't in telecom. So next slide, please. So what he did was a really great analysis of the vCon set, and as he was, and correctly, this was a vCon set from last week. This was the vCons created over time. You can tell when our contact center opens up about 3 o'clock GMT, and that's where the bulk of our traffic is. So next slide, please. And some of the work that he was doing was, okay, can we understand how the calls were handled by agent across our contact center next? Or can we understand, is there a customer frustration that's tied with time? The answer is no. So they're always the same amount of upset. And the next one, please, which I think is really a great one. So now we can generate for the frustrated customers a list of who they are, what frustrated them, and why. And this is a sort of insight that we are calling an X-ray into a company. When you're talking to a customer as an agent, that interaction becomes an insight into what the company actually does. And Matt hit it perfectly here by understanding how that works. So we're really happy to give Matt our TADHack Global Prize from Strolid and on behalf of vCon. So good job, Matt.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Thomas. So let me just move on. We had a couple of locations that were running in person. We had TADHack Belgrade that was run by Telesign. They have 3 winners. They have Survey Validator by Jovan, Katerina, and Marco. So this was using the phone ID to validate the person supposed to be doing that survey, as well as, excuse me, ensuring that you don't get multiple submissions from the same number. In second place, we have Fintel. That was Philip, Alexa, Pavel, and Onin. And this was an application that analyzes your incoming calls and history, and uses the phone ID to create a connection graph. So you can discover from all your calls, messages, and stuff, where you have perhaps friends in common with some of your friends. So again, it was just an interesting tool from a social engineering perspective. And then finally, Tola, and this was Andrea, Selendor, Arsen, and Liberota, and what they built. I said, think of it as a validation tool. So, as you're going through tolls, they do a quick check to say, is that really Alan? And they're able to confirm it. So again, really interesting use of the phone ID API for a range of different applications. So well done, guys. And then Sri Lanka. Well, we've already mentioned the winner, and Naveen was the guy that led the team. And as mentioned, he's been involved in TADHack a number of times over the years. He was sort of saying that, well, this will be my last TADHack. But I was like, no, not at all. Once you've got a full-time job, we want you to still be taking part. So it's not just while you're a student. TADHack is for life. And then we have Zindicate. And again, this I've seen, for example, I was doing work with MTN Nigeria several years ago. This is real. This can, I think, reduce food waste and can have a big impact on farmers' livelihoods. So very specific to particular markets, but these are real compelling needs. And the key is making it as dumb as possible, yet having an impact for farmers. And then RunEU, and this was, again, very similar to what we saw from some of the African hacks. And this is a mobile app around child healthcare. So it was great to see those 3 winners, and to see that the overall winner from TADHack Sri Lanka went on to become one of the global winners as well. So well done to everybody involved. Thank you for taking part.